In this video, we're taking on one of the hottest topics in Australia, which is the immigration crisis. From crowded cities to job markets to debates over national identity, it's how the immigration crisis is impacting Australia. But what's really behind it all? What are the untold reasons driving Australia's immigration crisis? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the reasons you won't hear in the headlines. Let's start with the big question. Why is Australia such a hotspot for immigrants in the first place? Australia is known for its high quality of life, its thriving economy, and of course, that stunning natural landscape. But there's another reason: the country's immigration-friendly policies. Australia has been open to skilled migrants for years, welcoming workers in healthcare, tech, construction, and more. But here's where it gets tricky. As more people look to move here, Australia's immigration system is feeling the pressure. Skilled workers, students, and refugees are all vying for limited spots, creating a strain that's starting to show. Here are the 5 untold reasons behind Australia's immigration crisis. 1. The skilled worker challenge. One of the biggest areas of debate is the skilled migration program. This program has brought in thousands of workers Australia needs to fill job gaps, especially in areas like healthcare and tech. But lately, it's created its own set of issues. On one hand, skilled migration boosts the economy by filling roles that Australians alone can't, and it's led to concerns about job competition and wages. Some local workers feel that migrants are making it harder to find high-paying jobs, or that wages are being kept down due to a more crowded job market. Skilled migration is essential to keep Australia's economy competitive, but when numbers increase too quickly, it can lead to competition that some local workers find challenging. Add to this the strain on the visa processing system, and suddenly the skilled migration solution isn't looking so simple anymore. It's a classic case of benefits versus challenges. 2. Student visa surge and its side effects. Australia is a top destination for international students, especially from countries like India and China. They come here for the world-class education, but recently, the surge in student numbers has brought unexpected challenges. With so many international students, cities like Sydney and Melbourne are feeling the strain. There's increased demand for housing, public transport, and jobs. And we can't forget about the impact on the rental market. Prices are rising, and it's becoming harder for locals to find affordable housing. This isn't just about students and jobs, it's reshaping entire communities. And while international students bring millions to the economy, the ripple effect on housing and infrastructure is creating tension in some local neighborhoods. 3. Population density and infrastructure strain. Australia's population is concentrated in just a handful of big cities. Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane are home to most of the country's people, and they're also where most migrants settle. With so many people moving into these cities, Australia is experiencing what some call a population crunch. More people mean more strain on infrastructure. Things like roads, schools, and hospitals are stretched thin. It's getting harder to keep up with the demand. So, while migration boosts the economy, the fast-paced growth is creating a tug-of-war between benefits and challenges, particularly in urban areas. 4. Growing need for asylum seeker and refugee visas. Australia's refugee policy is another crucial component. Regarding asylum seekers, particularly those who arrive by sea, Australia has historically maintained a strong position. Offshore detention facilities are part of the government's strategy, as these regulations are intended to discourage risky travel, but they have caused a great deal of debate. There are reports of overcrowding and poor conditions in these centres. Some advocates say Australia could do more to support refugees, while others think these policies are necessary for national security. Many of the people in these centres face long wait times and difficult conditions. It's a humanitarian issue as much as it is a policy one. This strict approach has drawn criticism from around the world. Some feel that Australia's stance needs to be rethought if we're serious about human rights and supporting those in need. 5. Political pressure and public opinion. And finally, let's talk about politics. Immigration has always been a hot topic in Australia, and public opinion on it is very mixed. Some people believe that Australia should welcome more migrants, while others worry about the impact on jobs, culture, and resources. As election times roll around, immigration becomes a huge talking point, with parties often taking a stance to appeal to their voter bases. This has led to shifting policies that affect not only who can enter the country, but also the experience of those already living here as temporary residents. Policies around immigration often reflect the political climate of the time. This can result in rapid changes that make it hard for migrants to plan their futures. So, the politics of immigration isn't just about policy, it's also about identity, the economy, and Australia's future. The future of immigration in Australia. Is change coming? So, where does all of this leave us? Australia's immigration crisis is complicated. It's not just about visas. It's about economic demand, infrastructure, politics, and public perception. And while there's no one-size-fits-all solution, experts agree that some changes are needed. Some ideas on the table include streamlining visa processes, investing more in city infrastructure, and balancing skilled migration with the needs of local workers. It's a tricky balance to strike, but without some changes, the challenges are only going to grow. So, that's the story behind Australia's immigration crisis. It's a complex, multi-layered issue that affects all aspects of life. But what do you think? Should Australia take a more open approach to immigration, or do we need tighter controls to protect local interests? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That will be all in this video. Please share your opinions with us in the comments area. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable the notification bell to receive updates on Australia immigration news. Thanks for watching.